14 running backs were selected before him in the draft. Every single team passed on picking him multiple times, but now he's averaging over 100 scrimmage yards per game and is looking like the best running back in that whole draft class. So what is the reason Kyren Williams was dropped off many teams' draft boards? Because there is something specific that made a lot of teams pass on drafting him. We're about to uncover all of that now because this is what they aren't telling you about the rise of Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams grew up a Notre Dame football fan. As a high school freshman, the only thing he asked his family for Christmas was a ticket to Notre Dame's football camp that upcoming summer. At St. John Vianney High School, Kyren played all over the place. He was a running back, wide receiver, quarterback, safety, linebacker, punt returner, kick returner, and punter. After he had over 1,600 yards from scrimmage and 32 total touchdowns his junior year, Kyren became a 3-star recruit with offers from schools like Michigan, UNC, Wisconsin, and more. But Kyren knew there was only one school he wanted to go to, and that was Notre Dame. A few days after visiting their campus the summer before his senior year, Williams committed to the school he grew up cheering for. In his true freshman year, 2019, Williams played in just 4 games before being sat to save an extra year of college eligibility. Kyren got to make his first collegiate start in week 1 of the following season, where he rushed for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns while averaging a whopping 5.9 yards per carry. He also had 93 receiving yards in that one too. Kyren continued to play just as well as he did in that first game throughout the rest of his sophomore season. He ended the year with 1,400 yards from scrimmage and 14 total touchdowns. In his second season as the Fighting Irish's starter, he put up similar numbers to his first. In 2021, Williams had 1,300 yards from scrimmage and 17 total touchdowns. After his third year at Notre Dame, Kyren Williams declared for the 2022 NFL Draft. After a super productive college career, it seemed like Williams was a lock to be a day 2 pick, right? Wrong. The pre-draft process is where everything started to go downhill for him. Kyren Williams had an absolutely terrible combine that made him fall down every team's draft board. It started with the off-the-field physical measurements. Williams' height was measured at just 5'9", while he weighed in at 194 pounds, which made him the second lightest running back at the combine. His arms also measured as the shortest out of all the running backs there too. Once he got on the field for drills, things got even worse. Kyren ran a 4.65 40-yard dash, which was the slowest 40 time out of all the running backs. NFL Next Gen Stats gave him an athleticism score of 51 for his performance at the combine. The lowest score one could possibly get is a 50, and anything below a 60 is considered below average. Kyren's athleticism score was the 3rd worst out of all the running backs. After his disaster of a combine, Kyren was projected to be a 6th or 7th round pick. But the thing is, you can't judge a player just by their combine performance. A lot of people thought Kyren wouldn't be able to block well due to his small frame and short arms. But just look at how he blocked this 300-pound defensive tackle. You have to watch the film too, and that's something the Rams organization has been notoriously good at recently. This year's breakout star Puka Nacua, who was also drafted in the 5th round by the Rams, had a terrible combine as well. He ran a slow 40 time and was ranked as one of the least athletic wide receivers in his draft class. But the Rams saw the heart he played with on film and how he actually didn't move that slow with pads on and decided to draft him. Now, at the time of this recording, Puka has the 2nd most receiving yards in the whole entire league. Also, just a little PSA, I'm recording this on a Saturday. The Rams played on a Thursday, so his numbers are a little inflated because other teams haven't played yet. So by the time this video comes out, he'll probably be number 3 or number 4, but still, you get my point. So back to Kyren. Draft day arrived and the Rams selected him in the 5th round with the 164th overall pick.
How you doing, Coach?
You know what we did? We just drafted you about a minute ago.
You just did it, Coach. Appreciate you, Coach. I swear to goodness, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to do everything, and I promise y'all going to get everything from me.
After an extremely rough pre-draft process, things didn't get any easier for Williams once he arrived in LA. In a June practice, he broke his foot and had to undergo surgery. Kyren attacked his rehab and was healthy enough to play in the first game of the season. But on the first kick return, his first NFL touch, he suffered a high ankle sprain and had to undergo yet another surgery.
I know I took it for granted to be able to walk. and I didn't have a right foot for probably like 4 to 5 months. Wow. Mentally, I had to really dig deep down into myself and find out who I was as a person and just become stronger because of that situation. So like I said, I'm glad it happened because I found a lot out about myself.
Kyren crushed his rehab yet again and was back on the field for week 11. As a rookie, Kyren never got to be the team starter, but in the 8 games he played, he averaged 3.9 yards per carry for 139 yards. Heading into his second NFL season, Kyren was the Rams' second string running back behind starter Cam Akers. I want to quickly thank the sponsor of this video, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is an app I use whenever football is being played. I love to play their pick'ems, and you know I had to pick Kyren in my last pick'em on Thursday Night Football, and the Rams did not disappoint me. If you sign up with my promo code SheGotSports, they will match your first deposit up to $100. Despite being the backup, Williams scored 2 touchdowns in the team's Week 1 game versus the Seahawks. But then Cam Akers requested a trade, and Williams took over as the team's starting running back from Week 2 on. Kyren Williams' true breakout game came in Week 6 versus the Cardinals. In that one, he averaged 7.9 yards per carry for 158 yards and 1 touchdown. But there was bad news. He suffered another ankle sprain during that game. So after the best game of his career thus far, Williams was placed on the injury reserve yet again. Weirdly enough, when Kyren was cleared to return in Week 12, the Rams were set to face off with the Cardinals again. Williams didn't miss a beat and yet again had the best game of his career, averaging 8.9 yards per carry for 200 plus yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. Despite only playing in 11 games this season, Kyren Williams has already exceeded 1,000 rushing yards and has the second most rushing yards in the whole entire league at the time of this recording, only behind Christian McCaffrey. As I mentioned, Kyren's teammate Puka Nacua was also a guy who fell down a lot of people's draft boards. If you want to hear more about his story, go check out this video up here. It's super inspiring.